Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the circus. My name, of course, is Nareve, and today we're going to go ahead and do something a little bit different. Today we actually have our very first channel request. Woo! So somebody in the YouTube comment section, actually on one of my other videos, by the name of TOPIFICATOR20, and again, I'm really sorry if I mess up names, but they requested that I do an arms rotation video, a video on how I do my personal rotation. So yeah, why not? I mean, shit, first person that's actually requested something, and so I'm definitely going to get it done. So here we go. This is my video on my arms rotation. So before I jump too far into the actual rotation, I want to go over some of the talents that I've taken because they are pertinent to the actual rotation itself. So what the main ones that I want to focus on are Shockwave, because that's definitely a good ability for crowd control and whatnot, interrupts and all sorts of things on that front. Anytime you want to interrupt, of course, you're going to have your pummel, but also you're going to be using Shockwave too. A lot of people don't really use it as a CC interrupt for actual PvE encounters, but I do. The next thing that I'm going to go over is Avatar. So what Avatar does is it turns you into a Colossus for 20 seconds, increasing all the damage you deal by 20%. With the macro that I'm going to show you, it's going to be pretty easy, and you're just going to slide it into your rotation as soon as you start, realistically. Focused Rage. This is going to be an ability that you want to either have on your main bar, or in my case, I have it bound right here to my F. Deadly Calm. Again, I'm going to show you how to have everything that you need in a few easy macros that you can pop. Deadly Calm, what it does is it reduces the cost of all your abilities by 100% while Battle Cry is active. And so for that duration of Battle Cry being active, there's going to be a lot that you're going to be doing. So just make sure you have that. And then last, of course, is going to be Ravager, because I really don't like Blade Storm. What's it called? Something like that. Whatever. Yeah, Blade Storm. Not a fan of that. I like Ravager because you can place it on the ground and still do other abilities at the same time as that would be happening. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump into some macros. Now, there are quite a few macros that I use. Not as many as a lot of other people. I like to keep my stuff as bare bones as possible. There are, of course, add-ons and everything that you can use that will be for, you know, more professional, more high-end rating guilds, more high-end PvP and PvE. I personally, I don't really like using a crap ton of macros. I don't think that it suits my playstyle. I like to be able to do the buttons on my own instead of just basically having an add-on play Autobot for me. Not the most fun. Alright, so here's my first macro that I've been using. It is my offensive cooldowns macro, and what it does is it pops both Battle Cry and Avatar at the same time. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now. It pops both of them. You'll notice there's Battle Cry, there's Avatar, and it pops them both. And what that allows me to do is that allows me to have that first 5 seconds of a fight to just unload everything that I can, and that's going to maximize your damage output. And then here's my defensive cooldown that I macroed, and it just pops Commanding Shout and Die by the Sword at the same time, and that just makes it so you can effectively mitigate as much damage as you can in a pinch. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I have bound to my R, F, and V keys my macros, the ones that I use the most, which for R is going to be my offensive cooldown. I use it as my ultimate. If anybody plays League or any MOBAs or anything like that, you know that that's the button you usually press. And so I've just gotten used to pressing R as my ultimate. My F key is the second most important button on my hotbar, and that's because it is my focused rage button. Now, what focused rage does, because I didn't really explain that earlier, is it makes it so your next mortal strike has its damage increased by 30%, stacking up to 3 times. So you can get 90% extra damage out of your mortal strike. And when I actually jump into the rotation itself, you're going to see that that's a pretty big deal. My Mortal Strike, I've had crit for almost 2 mil now. in just a regular scenario, which is crazy damage out of a warrior, right? That's why arms warriors are the way they are, is because with enough mastery and crit, you are just unstoppable. Actually, you realistically don't even need that much crit. I think I have, what am I at? Like 14%. Ideally, you'd be around 15, but I'm a little bit low. But still, 14% crit is all you really need, and it just makes the world of difference. And of course, mastery. For anybody that does not know, mastery is your bread and butter. It is more important than strength for an arms warrior. So maximize as much mastery as you can get. I'm at 73% right now, just shy of 10k, and I'm just now putting out some big numbers. All right, so now that I've discussed the kind of macro side of things and why it is that certain things are certain ways, I'm just going to jump into my actual rotation. So before I do the rotation, I will say there are two different rotations that I use. For anybody that does not know, in Mythic Plus, the trash can be more difficult than the mobs sometimes. Your Ravage and your Battle Cry are both on a 1 minute cooldown. So whenever you're in either a Mythic, Mythic Plus, or any sort of progression, any raids realistically, work on your timing. Timing is key, but you want to be able to use those as often as you can, because those are really where the numbers are going to come from, is from your offensive cooldowns, right? Don't be afraid to use them. I know when I first started playing WoW 12 years ago, I was apprehensive. Up until realistically 2 years ago, I was apprehensive to use my cooldowns unless I was on a boss fight, because I wanted my boss fight numbers to be big. Don't get hung up on numbers. I guess that's really the big thing here. So my rotation, I'm going to charge in, and immediately I'm going to hit my R key, which, if you remember, is my offensive cooldowns. And I'm also going to activate my Ravager as soon as I get there. Then you're going to hear my keyboard, and I apologize for my ravenous clicking that will happen. I'm going to spam my F key for the focused rage stacks, because I want to get to 3 as quickly as I can. Then as soon as I get there and pop my other cooldowns, I'm going to instantly hit Colossus Smash. Colossus Smash being a damage increase for my overall damage as well as for my Mortal Strike. Then I'm going to Mortal Strike, and hopefully, with any luck, I'm going to get my cooldowns, and I will have a Colossus Smash appear again. Then I'm going to just keep bouncing between Colossus Smash and Mortal Strike. Colossus Smash, Mortal Strike. And I'm just going to bounce between those two as often as I can. When I get the cooldown, I'm going to be doing Overpower. And then if I get near max rage at any point, and only if I get near max rage, will I use Slam. Realistically, you should not be using Slam too terribly often unless it's to clear a bit of rage. That way you don't just waste rage, right? You want to stay between, realistically, 75 and 90% of your rage, just because there's no reason to go over 90%, and there's no reason to drop to 0 unless it's from getting focused rage. You don't ever want to just waste your rage on Slam. There's just no reason. It's not a great ability. It's just a rage clearing ability. And then between my Mortal Strikes, when I'm not using Mortal Strike and everything, I do want to be building some focused rage stacks. You want to have around 2 to 3 whenever you can, because that's going to make it so when you do get another Colossus Smash proc, you can instantly go into a really hard-hitting Mortal Strike. Because keep in mind, that's where most of your damage is going to come from, is your Mortal Strike. That's just how it is. That's where a bulk of your damage comes from. Alright, here we go. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining those stacks, and there's one proc, and you want to make sure that as often as you can, you are just getting all of your procs off of cooldown. Notice that I'm at 3 stacks, just cleared my stacks, and also notice that I'm not using my weapon. The reason why I am not using my weapon ability is because I already have the Colossus Smash debuff on this target. You don't want to use your weapon ability until that is off the target, like right now. So So I'll use it now, and I'll keep doing it. And then, of course, I just got the proc again, so I didn't actually have to use it there. But this is the rotation. This is the entirety of the rotation. It's not a particularly hard rotation, but it's also a rotation that is easy to mess up if you don't manage your rage properly. And that's pretty much it. This is it. I'm going to go ahead and wait for my cooldowns. Notice I'm dipping down to like 200k right now. So I'll go ahead and pop my cooldowns, and you'll watch my damage spike again, just because, you know, that's how the cooldowns work. And also notice that I'm making sure to keep up my focused rage, because that is vital. And that's it. Once they get down to like 20% or so, you'll go ahead and start using execute a lot. And actually, if you're between like on a boss fight, let's say you're between like that 20-25% range and your offensive cooldowns come up, make sure you save that, because once they get below that 25%, if you pop your ultimate cooldown, then what it's going to do is it's going to make it so you can free execute as many times as you want in that 5 seconds. So in an ideal situation, once they get to 20%, you're going to Colossus Smash or use your weapon ability if you haven't used that yet to make sure they have the buff on them. Pop your cooldown and then just execute, unless you get a Colossus Smash proc, at which point you're going to Colossus Smash, make sure you have those 3 stacks, and use your Mortal Strike, because Mortal Strike with your stacks and the Colossus Smash is going to do more damage than the execute. But other than that, it's really just an execute spam below that percent. Yeah, that's realistically the entirety of the rotation. My gear's not great, I'm not a great warrior, but that's the rotation, and it's not a particularly difficult rotation. And if you notice, you can go over to, you know, these over here, just for a quick AoE. You would just pop it. I don't want to hit them all, so I'm just gonna hit these ones, and you know, you can do that and get those big numbers, and that's it. That's all you have to do. These are like 85 dummies, so my numbers are going to be bigger than they should be. That is definitely a hyperinflated number right there. That is not realistic by any means, but it's still good to look at, right? You can still see kind of where my top damage is coming from in an AoE poll. But that's it, guys. Actually, before I go, one last thing. If you use Cleave and it cleaves targets, then your next Whirlwind will do, what is it, 20%? Yeah, 20% more damage. So make sure, if you are doing the AoE rotation of Whirlwinding, make sure you're cleaving, whirlwinding, that kind of thing. There is a small cooldown for cleave, so it would actually be like cleave, whirlwind, cleave, whirlwind, you know, so on and so forth. But again, if your arms, you're not exactly hoping for great AoE numbers. We're not AoEers. We're definitely best single target. But there you go. That's it, guys. That is all that it takes to be a proficient arms warrior. Topificator 20. I hope that this answers your question. If it doesn't, go ahead and leave me in the comment section below what it is that you want. And that goes for anybody. Whatever you guys want, you leave a comment and I'll try to make that video for you. Again, thank you, Topificator, for actually commenting on what you wanted, and I hope that this does help. I will see you guys in the next video. Love you guys. Finger guns. What? Oh man, what the heck? Why am I in this corner suddenly? Right next to the training dummies where this little gazebo is. Oh, this is a nice little gazebo. Would you look at that? What happens if I... Oh, man. That is too cool. This corner... Oh, man. Why do I just keep coming back to this corner? Oh, well. I guess I'll just log out. But first I want to mount... Oh, right as I logged out... Or right as I mounted up, I logged out on accident. Whoops. Wonder what happens if I log back in. This is weird, huh? Oh, man. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, weird. I'm somehow glitched through the wall because I logged out right as I mounted up. That's weird. Oh, wow. I somehow fell. I better get on my flying mount, but stay on the ground. I don't want to glitch anything or anything. I just want to safely get out of here. Oh, man. Making sure to be careful because I don't want to accidentally glitch through the ground. And, oh, what is this? Right where the shadow happens, I can fly straight up. Whoa, what's up here? Who knows? Oh my goodness! This is so weird. How did I get here? Definitely not breaking you love.